Charles, let me start with you, because the first question everyone asks is, it's hard to believe there wasn't security. How did they not have more security there? Give us a sense of what the expected security would be at their house when she's not there.
Yeah, let me tell you what goes on here. And obviously, this is all under review now by the Capitol Police. And I assure you there will be changes coming forth here in how they protect members of Congress, especially those in leadership positions, and especially someone in the line of succession, as Speaker Pelosi is. But typically, the Speaker has 24/7 protection by the U.S. Capitol Police when she travels and when she is in a location. So, for example, if she had been staying in the residence that evening in San Francisco, there would have been security there. Traditionally, the spouses and other family members of the members of Congress do not have protection unless there is a specific, credible threat made against them and a reason why there should be protection on them. So that is why there was not protection at the residence that evening.
Right. So to clarify, it is not unusual that there was not security for Nancy Pelosi's husband at his house.
It is not. There is no conspiracy theory here. Nobody took a mysterious trip to go run away from the residence to get coffee. It is just not there. Now, that will certainly change, and it should change. But as it sits that evening, there was to be no protection at the residence.
All right. So, John, you are typically suspect of left-leaning narratives, so to speak, but maybe not as much on this one. Why?
No, in fact, Dan, I've been spending most of the last couple of days on Twitter trying to convince my fellow conservatives that this story, as bizarre as it is, and it truly is bizarre, was at least mostly true, and that the conspiracy theories, especially the one that was promoted by Elon Musk, makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, even before today. Now, today's events and the comments of the DA should put this to bed, but unfortunately, Dan, it's not going to, because it is my view that many on the right now have PTSD when it comes to anything revolving around the news media, their trust in our institutions, especially in a place like San Francisco, especially involving a story that has Nancy Pelosi in it, is so incredibly low that it doesn't matter what the facts are. It doesn't matter what the truth is. All the security camera video in the world could be put out there, and there would still be people, much to my chagrin, saying that this was some sort of massive conspiracy, a romantic tryst gone bad. I knew that was immediately wrong. I happen to have a connection to Paul Pelosi through the fact that I'm a Georgetown alumnus. I know many people very, very close to him. There's not a chance in the world this story was true in the conspiracy realm. And so this has been very, very frustrating for someone like me who cares about the truth. But I will say, the left didn't do anyone any favors by jumping all over this idea that this nut job was some sort of MAGA supporter immediately, which fit, of course, their narrative. And I don't think we know that. I think this is much more about mental illness than about politics.
And I'm going to be talking about that in our next block. But Charles Marino, thinking about the investigation here, another thing that people seem to find very hard to believe is this idea of the 911 call, right? He goes into the bathroom and there's this 911 call. I mean, if that's not true, the police would know that by now, right? So the police and the DA would have to be in on the conspiracy at this point to be making up this story about the 911 call. Because the 911 call from the bathroom does sound weird, right? It sounds like an odd thing if the guy lets him go into the bathroom, right, and make a 911 call. I get it that people are questioning that. But if that weren't true at this point, Charles, we would know.
I'll say this, that 911 call obviously very likely saved Mr. Pelosi's life. Kudos to Mr. Pelosi while being under duress. Let's remember, this was a home invasion at 2:30 a.m. He was able to stall this suspect and make his way into the bathroom and dial the phone, okay? Luckily, the dispatcher sensed that there was something wrong. Obviously, the address comes up into the 911 system. They know it's a VIP location, and they tell the police to get there and step it up to do a wellness check. So, you know, everything worked out here. But if that 911 call isn't made, I don't know how much longer he could have stalled this.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.